Willie D. Live.
What's up, family? A group of demonstrators who call themselves Protect White Americans gathered at the stadium where Carmelo Anthony, 17, stabbed to death 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a track meet in Frisco, Texas. Now, after that happened, all hell broke loose. People was picking sides. You had one side in particular who was absolutely adamant that Carmelo Anthony needed to be put to death. I mean, literally, they wanted him dead. They didn't want to hear anything about self-defense. They were like, yo, who brings a knife to a track meet? Those same people, ironically, didn't have a problem with Kyle Rittenhouse bringing a rifle to a protest. Like, who brings a rifle to a protest? You know, except the police, right? They didn't have a problem with Kyle Rittenhouse at all. In fact, they cheered him on after he killed 2 people and injured 1. They didn't have a problem with the fundraiser for Kyle Rittenhouse, who, from what I understand, raised a couple of $1 million, at least. They didn't have a problem with the money that was raised for George Zimmerman after he killed Trayvon Martin. They didn't have a problem with the cop who got paid after he killed Michael Brown. There's numerous examples where people have given money, time, and social media engagement to support killers of Black folks and others who don't share their ideologies. These same people now have a problem with Carmelo Anthony getting support from members of his community and outside of his community, quite frankly. These same people claim that they care about the people who they support, but they don't. What they care about is the agenda. What they care about is being able to violate somebody who don't share their ideologies and get away with it. What they care about is escaping accountability. And that's why I told y'all that they care nothing about Austin Metcalf or Carmelo Anthony. They care about the agenda. Insert the latest degenerate group in America known as Protect White Americans. They pop up at the stadium where Austin was killed to protest the community of Frisco and the law enforcement, the authorities, because they apparently are not doing their job good enough to their satisfaction. They're not coming down hard enough on Carmelo Anthony. They're giving him bonds and allowing him to have due process. Wait a minute, man. Come on, where's the lynch mob? What happened? Let's make America great again. They're on that time. Well, something interesting happened. They call themselves being there to support Austin Metcalf. But Jeff Metcalf, Austin's father, said, no, 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 no. No race baiters. He sniffed it out immediately. He called them race baiters and said that they were trying to spew their narrative for their own agenda. I ain't got no problem with that. He also said this. That's all they are, race baiters, effing people that want to spew their narrative for their own agenda. They don't give a about my family, about Carmelo Anthony's family. And that, fam, is the truth. I have to say, fam, I am surprised that dude has this type of character. I'm also surprised to find out that when he went to the press conference, remember when he ambushed the press conference? And, people were saying that it was disrespectful for him to show up at Carmelo Anthony's press conference where his family spoke for the first time? He said he went there to pray with the family. Now, I do believe that's why he went there. If he said that's the reason, I do believe it. However, he should have let that be known. He should have thought about, like, if I just go there and pop up, they're probably gonna think that I'm trying to be an instigator or whatever. So, let me, before I just pop up, reach out to them and say, hey, can I show up? Can I come to pray with y'all or something, right? And then let them make that decision, because I think it's very hard to speak freely in a situation like that, where your son is accused of killing somebody else's son, and that somebody else shows up at the press conference. It's gonna make things awkward. It's gonna be just really weird. But I'm looking at the dad, Jeff Metcalf, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if dude is all that bad, perhaps. And let me rephrase it. I don't know if he's a bad guy. I don't know if he's a bad guy. I don't know if Austin got that push people around mentality or bully people from him. It seemed like the mama is the one who got the attitude. Yeah, that's right, I said it. The mama is really aggressive. She has a lot of masculine energy. She seemed to be the one who is aggressive. Now, not saying that the father is a pushover, but he just seemed to be more rational. Obviously, right or wrong, his son was killed, so he wants somebody to pay for that. Carmelo is in the hot seat. So I can understand it. Whether my son was right or wrong, if somebody did something like that to my son, yeah, I would want some get back. So his actions are understandable. But that mama, a lot of times those mamas go under the radar. But that woman right there, perhaps when we start talking about, who raised them, because, they're separated. Big question was who raised Carmelo initially after the killing. Who raised him? Everybody wondered who raised him. Well, he was raised by loving parents who've been together for 17 years, who have 4 kids, who share 4 kids, and that's it. They ain't got no kids from nowhere else, respectable boy. And people was like, well, who raised him? I question who raised Austin. Who raised the kid to think that he can walk up to another kid and make him move? You're not supposed to be here. And then, so I'm going to make you move. If I had to take a wild guess, I would say that come from the mama side. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.